Good afternoon. You're watching News Blitz. I'm Itai Mutiniri. Let's take a look at our top stories. Experts say new variants fueling Africa's third wave. Fleeing carjackers knock down pedestrian. We give you your birthday present from Jah Prayzah. And in sport, Chevron's Tigers face off in warm-up. New COVID-19 variants, which spread more rapidly, are believed to be fueling Africa's surging third wave of infections. COVID-19 cases have been climbing faster than all earlier peaks. According to latest figures from the World Health Organization, cases have increased for 6 weeks running and rose by 25% week on week to almost 202,000 in the week ending 27 June, reaching 9/10 of the continent's previous record of 224,000 new cases. Deaths rose by 15% across 38 African countries to nearly 3,000 in the same period. In its weekly report, the WHO Africa office noted that the Delta variant, first identified in India, is dominant in South Africa and was detected in 97% of the samples sequenced in Uganda and 79% of samples sequenced in the Democratic Republic of Congo.
The epidemic is resurging in 12 African countries, and we are closely monitoring rising cases in another 14. The third wave is picking up speed, spreading faster, hitting harder. We've surged past last year's peak, and at the current pace, continental cases will surpass the second wave's peak in just about 3 weeks.
Suspected carjackers knocked down and killed a pedestrian and injured another as they tried to flee from police in Zimbabwe's third largest city, Gweru. The pedestrian, whose identity is yet to be revealed, died on the spot. The suspects were driving a Toyota Fortuner vehicle believed to have been hijacked in the resort city of Victoria Falls. The driver and 2 accomplices were arrested and disarmed by police after their vehicle rammed into a Nissan Navara truck. The incident occurred around 11 a.m. this morning along Robert Mugabe Way in the Central Business District. Midlands Provincial Police spokesperson Inspector Emmanuel Mahoko confirmed the incident to ZTN but could not give further details.
I can't predict kuti vanopedza nguva kungopawo a reasonable time yekuti vamboatenda then maybe mukatibata kumasikati.
Zimbabwean farmers holding on to winter wheat inputs for speculative purposes will be arraigned before the courts if they don't return inputs they are seeking to turn into loot. This is the warning from the country's Lands, Agriculture, Water, Fisheries and Rural Resettlement Minister, Dr. Encius Masuka. Masuka spoke to ZTN's Mashonaland Central correspondent, Fungai Lupande.
We've now given an instruction that any farmer who has not utilized the inputs that they have taken must return those inputs with immediate effect to GMB. We've also noted in some instances that farmers are reluctant to now utilize the inputs they collected from the various GMB depots.
In business, the country's largest diversified media group, Zimbabwe Newspapers 1980 Limited, has reported improved financial growth for the first 5 months of 2021, despite a global media revenue decline due to effects of the COVID-19 pandemic. In a statement at the group's annual general meeting on Tuesday, Zimpapers chairman Tommy Stole said it is pleasing to note that Zimbabwe Newspapers held its own by defying doomsday numbers and posting better results than the global performances as revenue in hyperinflationary terms. This was 94% better than the same reporting period last year. Our business correspondent Andy Hodges gives us more.
Thank you. There's no doubt that the media landscape in Zimbabwe and in fact around the globe is challenging, especially on the light of COVID-19, as people stop buying print media, newspapers, for example. Now, Zimpapers, however, on the back of that did show resilience, and that's according to both the chairperson, Tommy Sitole, and the group chief executive officer, Pikirai Deketeke. And in fact, their numbers bear that out. If you look at some of their numbers, they moved from a half-year profit of less than $1 million to a growth of 10,000% to sit at 99 million. Top line grew by 588% compared to the same period last year. Zim Papers earned $796 million over the past 5 months compared to $115 million last year for the comparable period. You know, the resilience in the COVID-19 pandemic cannot be sneezed at. Zim Papers came up with a strategy to move into digital, to move into online, and also to boost some of their other divisions, such as ZTN, Zim Papers Television Network, the radio channels, they have now 4 stations, and of course digital online platforms and online subscriptions through some of the apps that they're producing. So really they have to do 3 things to continue to remain profitable. One, of course, is continue the diversification drive, especially in digital radio and television, which of course is on course, and that's exactly what Zim Papers are doing. They have to maintain their cost containment and they have to remain innovative. But if they do all of that, then it appears that, according to the chairman and in the annual general meeting held on Tuesday, that is exactly what Zim Papers are doing. The growth of Zim Papers looks positive, and it looks like they will remain the dominant media house in Zimbabwe for many years to come. Back to the studio.
In entertainment news, Jah Prayzah turns 34 on Sunday, and the multi-award winning musician intends to toast his extra year in style, dropping his 11th studio album. A virtual launch for the new offering titled Gwara is slated for 11 July. And as expected, Jah and his team, which now includes returning backing vocalist Stimela, are hard at work at the JP Studios in Harare. Also at the famed studios is our correspondent, Taku Chihambakwe, who has been given exclusive access. Taku, please level the vibe for us.
Well, good afternoon, Itai. I can tell you that we're live at Jah Prayzah's studio here in Belvedere. The band, the rebranded band, now called 3D from Third Generation. They're currently rehearsing ahead of their virtual album launch, which will be put online on the 9th of July. The album is coming out on the 4th, which is this coming Sunday, which is Jah Prayzah's 34th birthday. We're going to jump in right now and just give you a snippet of what's happening. Follow me. Jah Prayzah, how are you doing? Yeah. Good. How are you feeling ahead of your 11th studio album launch?
I'm super excited. Zvasvika pazvifana kunge zvasvika. Nepamusana pekuti takawana nguva yakanaka yakakura yekukwanisa kubatanidza chinhu chedu netime tisingamanye-manye. Saka gwara mudara.
Why Gwara? Why did you give the album that title, Gwara?
Nzira mudara. Nzira yakanaka.
What can people expect from the album compared to the other 10 albums you've released?
I think pane my songs 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 and sound havasina kujaira kana kuti sound yasanamboita before. Tine chinhu chatichange tichiti nhoroondo chatakapasitara kuti nhoroondo chichabuda pamwe chete nealbum andichapa madetails but vachasangana nacho kana vari mugwara unosangana negwara.
Great, there you have it. It's a 16-track album that's going to be released on the 4th of July, this Sunday. It's your birthday.
Yes, mudara. Ndikukura hangu makore acho kuramba achifamba. So ndafunga kuti ndipe mafans angu music yangu vange vachifara vachitaura nezvangu zuva ranga rakaberekwa. I think ndopane vibe racho.
Like stuff. All right. We're also noticing that Stimela is back in the country. There were rumors that she had actually left the 3G band. So we're gonna ask Stimmy to just come through. Yeah. Hello. Good. It's good to have you back in Zimbabwe.
Super excited.
We understand you landed yesterday.
Yes, last night.
Okay. How was America?
It was quite an adventure, quite an experience.
What had you gone to do in America?
I'd gone to do an opera. A little bit of dance, singing, acting, yeah.
So you're excited to be back before the album launch?
Oh, I am super excited. I'm back with my family.
All right, there you have it, guys. We're just gonna get one more piece from Jay and his team. So take it away. So it's back to you guys in the studio.
Now, across our borders, foreign leaders, including President Emmerson Mnangagwa, are in the Zambian capital, Lusaka, for a state memorial of the country's founding president, Kenneth Kaunda. The patriarch of the African independence died at the age of 97 last month. He succumbed to pneumonia. Zambia's military has been flying the Liberation Hero's body to the country's 10 regions to give the public an opportunity to pay their last respects. Zambia's President Edgar Lungu addressed the nation on Thursday night and declared public holidays for the day of the memorial and the funeral on Wednesday. Moving on, Australia will halve the number of international arrivals it accepts after COVID outbreaks put half the population in lockdown this week. The country's strict border rules have only allowed Australians and people with exemptions to enter. From 14 July, Australia will accept just over 3,000 people a week, a measure likely to last until next year. Moving on to sport. Zimbabwe and Bangladesh will have a chance to gauge their preparedness for the one-off test starting next week at Harare Sports Club. The two teams will play a two-day warm-up match at Takashinga tomorrow. This marks the start of Bangladesh's first tour of Zimbabwe since 2013. The one-off test is on July 7 at Harare Sports Club. Zimbabwe Sables coach Brendan Dawson is calling for clinical performances at the Rugby Africa Cup in Tunisia in July. The Sables are expected to leave for the competition this Sunday. We spoke to Dawson.
But the most important thing is being accurate and doing everything correctly, making sure we don't give penalties away, making sure that when we do something it goes to how we want to play it, making sure all the guys are doing their roles and responsibilities and making sure that everything that we practice works. And so that's where the difference becomes between teams, is skill level and whether they can get it accurate and whether they can be precise in everything they do. And that's what we try to focus on.
And that's all we had for you on News Blitz. Stay connected with us on Twitter at ZTN News, Instagram at ZTN, and visit our website ztn.co.zw. Pleasant weekend.